Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, what in the hell? What's going on? The shutdown. What a mess. But how did it get open? So what, 8 Democrats decided to change their vote and vote yes? Now that goes with the 52 Republicans that have already voted yes to open the government or to leave it open. And they've done that about, 15, 16 times every day, except over the weekend since the government been shut down. But it's quite a few times. 15, 16 times they've had a vote on it. And each time the Democrats all voted no. So how can you blame the shutdown on President Trump, although he is president, but he did not shut it down. He simply said, I'm not signing that bill that y'all want. I'm not doing that. I'm not giving the insurance companies and the illegals trillions and trillions of dollars. I'm not doing it. We're not going to do that. That's what the president said. And then the Democrats say, okay, well, if you won't do that, then we're going to shut it down. We're not going to vote on the CR. That's the deal. So it wasn't the president that shut it down. The president doing fine. He's doing what he's been doing. Putting criminals in jail and getting rid of all things criminal. Right? That's what he's been doing. The illegals got to go. He rounded them up. That's what he said he's going to do. That's happening. And now people shooting at ICE. So now all this stuff is a problem. The National Guard is having to come in and guard some stuff and shut down the crime. You know what? I haven't heard anything about Washington, D.C. Have they been on the news? That means it's working. It's got to be working. President Trump bringing in the National Guard, it's working because you don't hear anything about D.C. Because if it wasn't working, guess what? It would be all over the news. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to use your head. And some of y'all men, y'all pitiful, man. You know, I give the women a pass because they're supposed to get the information from the head of the household, the man. The man in charge is supposed to make sure that everybody know what's going on. But some of y'all men, y'all crazy, man. I don't know how the hell y'all, man, everybody in your house must be miserable. The way y'all make decisions and live on these lies and stuff, man, that's got to be miserable, man. You know, life is paradise, man. You breathing. But some of y'all got these booked up problems. You think people superior to you and the president hates you and this, that, and the other, and white folk this and that, and orange man that, and all this old negative stuff. You ain't going to get your check, and SNAP people not going to get their money, and all this negative stuff, and everything negative. But you don't never see no positive nowhere. So I got nerve enough to come on here and make a video and send you the information, and you shove it back in my face. Don't even click on it. I ain't clicking on that mess. All right, Big Al, he think he going to make some money. I ain't never made no money with you. Anyway, so what you talking about, man? And shout outs to Big Al, UncleCoon. The challenge is we have 7,000 subscribers. That's thanks to, it wasn't you that did it. The people that's mad, it wasn't you. So I ain't worried about that, but I got to keep talking to you until you wake up. That's the job I have to do. And I've been slipping a little bit because I haven't been making too many videos. I've been making a lot of shorts. But videos, because there's so many video content creators that have such great channels. So I spend my time loading up. I guess I'm loading up on the information, right, and getting this stuff and then catching up on life and all this stuff. Just getting everything. YouTube is something else, and I said that in the previous video, but I'm gonna say it again. YouTube, you can get a lot of stuff from YouTube. But anyway, shout out to everybody that's helped our channel. We at 7,000 subscribers now, and the people that I was making the videos for. When I started, I had them, my classmates, people that I love, people that I care about. That's what I was trying to do, get the information to you. But those were the people that straight up rejected me, threw me in the trash, told me to get the hell out. I ain't shit. So I don't know. I guess I'm talking to the other people that I don't know what's going on. Because the people that I do know, y'all been kicked me to the curb. But anyway, I just, what in the hell? I'm just trying to figure out why y'all haven't figured out over the last 60 years that the Democratic Party is the one that's lying. President Trump just got here. And everything that comes out of his mouth is something that he's saying that he's going to fix that's been broken. What happened to Project 2025? Y'all remember that? Do y'all see where the Supreme Court, what's the lady name, E. Jean Carroll, with that crazy woman that said President Trump did the R word in a department store in New York, and she never told nobody for 20 years. Remember that mess? Y'all fell for that mess. And they come back 2 years later and ask her where was it and when was it. She didn't even know what they was. She couldn't even see. It's crazy. They paid her a lot of money to say that and do that. And all those bogus charges they put on the president. And some of y'all still rolling with all that mess. You can't see that all the lies that these people are telling you. And then the Democrats shut the government completely down, straight down. I don't give a damn. The military wasn't going to get paid. President Trump figured out how to do that. Some people gave some money and some other stuff he put together and got them paid, used the tariffs, right? And then the SNAP benefits and a whole lot of other stuff, the air traffic controllers and all that. That's a whole different story. He couldn't do anything with that, not without some kind of approval. And they shut all that down. So the Democrats didn't give a damn about you. Then every day the Democrats go on camera and say President Trump was the one that was doing it. No, President Trump ain't shut the government down. The Democrats did. If President Trump shut it down, how come the votes changed over the Democrat people voted to open it and now it's open? Y'all don't get that? That's not hard to figure out, is it? Okay, now that you figured that out, now just start looking at all the other stuff. Flip over all the other stuff that you've been told. Flip it over. And you'll see that President Trump is not the problem. It's the Democrats and the other people they call the deep state. A lot of people that's evil and not good for this country. A lot of people in foreign countries are spending money and doing some evil stuff over here. And President Trump is going to find them and bring them to justice. And that's what's happening. And then all at the same time, he's found a lot of the waste. The money is being stolen and spent through Congress and the Senate and all that, and through all these NGOs and all these different programs that they've come up with that they use, and giving the money to insurance companies and getting it back and sending the money to the war in Ukraine and all these different things that they got going on overseas that they don't never really do. They just tell you. And ladies and gentlemen, what happened to climate change? Remember that? You know how many billions of dollars that President Trump stopped behind that nonsense that they were just straight up stealing? What happened to climate change? I remember 10 years before that, but before they were saying the world was getting cold and we was going to freeze to death and the water was going to overrun. Then that didn't happen. So then they said it was global warming. And then they didn't do that. Then they said it was just climate change, period. And so y'all, yeah. And what BLM, and what happened to all that money, right? All these people just stealing money. And President Trump said, nah, man, we're going to stop all this. We shutting all this stuff down. All these people burning up stuff in the cities and doing all that stuff. Nah, man. No, we ain't doing that. That's why we elected him. Why y'all mad? That's the question. What are you mad for? And then people sending me stuff. What about January 6th? What about it? That was one day. Okay, even if it was, let's just say y'all give us that one and say with the patriots, the people that love the country, we had a bad day. So some windows got broke out and all that. A lady got shot, and then all the rest of that stuff was lies. Okay, so we'll take that one on the chin. Let's just say we take that one. Okay, what about all the looting and all the stuff that's going on right now? Who's burning up the Teslas and firebombing Tesla dealerships and lighting up businesses and who's shooting at the police and ambushing ICE and laying on rooftops and laying in trees and shooting people? Who doing all that? That's not President Trump. That's not MAGA. And ladies and gentlemen, the video resurfaced where President Trump told everybody to go home. I remember that like it was yesterday. He said, go home in peace. It's like it's a trap. Everybody go home. I remember that speech. That's the same day they took him off Twitter, and you couldn't find that speech anywhere. I was going to start the channel with that speech, to be honest with you, and you couldn't find it nowhere. Back then, they was taking people down. If you said something on Facebook, they would censor you and take you down, shut your Facebook jail. Now you can say anything you want to on Facebook. That's why the information is getting out. It's a huge, huge change in information. Some of y'all got stuck on that other side over there where y'all stuck with CNN, MSNBC, and all that. That stuff is not what it do. They lying to y'all. Some of that stuff is true. It's some propaganda. They sprinkle a little bit of truth and a whole lot of lies. And ladies and gentlemen, you got to find the lies, but it's a bunch of lies in the media and all the stuff that they're doing. And the president is actually getting the job done. And two major things that he said that he was going to do, he's doing them, getting rid of all the criminal stuff. And he's going to make sure you get your money. He's doing that. And the things that he's put in place, gas is going down. Groceries is going down. Now the experts saying that Thanksgiving dinner is going to be less. It's going to cost less than it did last year. That's saying something because last year was high, wasn't it? And so if it's less, that's a blessing. The food is going down. It's not where we want it to be. It's going to get there because the President Trump has approved a bunch of manufacturing and gas plants and energy plants that are coming in. And ladies and gentlemen, it just take a little minute for those facilities to be built and to be up and running. But that's coming. And I think a lot of that stuff is close to being open, and you're going to see a major, major change in this country. I believe that with everything that's in me, because in the big, beautiful bill, President Trump has already put everything in place to do it. Now, we just got to live through it, because it's coming. To start with the income taxes. The income taxes this year is going to be the biggest income taxes that Americans have ever seen. I believe that. And if you believe it and you need us to help you get it, and we know what to do, because we've been trained by President Trump, because people tell me all the time, man, he's just President Trump, right? But I know President Trump, I learned how to do taxes based on what he said to Hillary, and I know how to get the money. And ladies and gentlemen, TaterTaxService.com is your sponsor today. And you can go there, submit your driver's license and put that on there, or your Social Security card, anywhere. Just mark your spot and just say hello and line up and just say, hey, give me my spot to get my taxes done. And then when later on, when you get your W-2 and all that, you go back to your same link and just submit your information. And ladies and gentlemen, you're in the house. But if you send me your driver's license, I'll go ahead and put you in the system, and then your spot will be secure. You're guaranteed to get it done, because we are filling up fast. People are really talking about say they spot, because they know I roll with Trump, and they know the refunds going to be big, and they want every dime, and I don't blame them. And that's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. The ones we got last year were huge. They were real big. They was off the chain. And so this year, we know that those refunds are going to be bigger. So Big Al, TaterTaxService.com. Go there, check out the website, and you can submit your information. And just by submitting us your driver's license or your social, or just your name and your address and all that, that marks your spot and give you a spot on the deal and put you in the house. But ladies and gentlemen, getting back to the real, some of y'all, I'm not sure. I don't know why y'all booked up, man. Y'all just booked up, and it's a shame, because all the things that the president has done, you free. You're not on the plantation, no matter. So I don't know why you thinking that way. You're free. You can do whatever you want to do. If you have dreams and goals, now is your time to rewrite them and put them back in your face and go after them, because the president has released. He's exposing the demons, the people that's holding you back, the people that's doing all this stuff, the corruption and the criminals and all this stuff that's going on that's wrong in this country. President Trump has fixed all that. But ladies and gentlemen, President Trump is not the problem. You need to release yourself. And one of the ways of doing that is coming over here to Big Al, UncleCoon, because we'll report some stuff and we post stuff by the minute on Facebook. That's easy to do. So some of y'all, catch us on Facebook and YouTube, right? Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Y'all have done that. We got over 7,000 subscribers in a little over a year, which is, from what they're telling me, is outstanding. And so we're just going to keep chugging along, but I'll start making more videos. Y'all telling me that I've been getting lazy. And shout outs to Darlene, my VA. She said, we making a lot of shorts, but we're not making videos. So I said, okay. And I have been going live because there's so many people that's better than me at doing that. And when I'm online, I'm listening to them and getting my information. So I try to squeeze in a live here and there and do what y'all asking me to do. But anyway, I appreciate y'all dropping in on this one. I'm your host, Big Al, UncleCoon. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Can't touch this.
Real. That gal on the mic, UncleCoon in the house, dropping knowledge, speaking truth, no room for doubt. From the mates to celebs, we cover it all. Tune in, hit subscribe, you don't wanna miss the call. Real. Al, UncleCoon, bringing the heat. Every episode's fire, can't be beat. Hit that like, share the vibe. Join the fam, come along for the ride. Politics, pop culture, and everything between. Big Al's got the scoop, you know what I mean? From Harris to Trump, we break it down. Common sense talk, the best show around. Real. Al, UncleCoon, bringing the heat. Every episode's fire, can't be beat. Hit that like, share the vibe. Join the fam, come along for the ride. Cash App, show some love, support the grind. Big Al's on the rise, one of a kind. UncleCoon podcast, the place to be for real talk, real folks, and real TV. Real. Al, UncleCoon, bringing the heat. Every episode's fire, can't be beat. Hit that like, share the vibe. Join the fam, come along for the ride.